focus? There we go. So that's a new bee. I went in and pulled a couple of combs out, thinking to freeze them and then use them as part of my swarm trap. And there's still some bees that haven't come out of this comb, so I'm torn. But it gives them a fresh start on the upper box if I take these two out. These were the two that I left low in the low box, and then I flipped them up top, and they just don't seem to be working on them as much as I'd like. So this one's pretty well worker size. The other one has a big patch of drone, so I'm not really enthused to have that hanging around. But this was one bee that was about ready to get out, and she looks different than another bee that I saw that was really white the other day. So that's maybe the difference between the bees that are good and the bees that are bad. And then I think, where is it? That one she's next to right now is one that I popped the top on, and there wasn't a puncture in it, but their covers are starting to get a little dark, so I'm still learning about that. But there was that one, and then there was a drone, and I pulled that one, and that was a mess. That was just a messy looking bee, so I don't know what is going on some of these, but there's new bee. I'll get as close as I can to her with the focus. That's about right there. So she comes out, she starts looking around, says, "Gee, what do we got to eat?" So I'm still torn about what to do with these two frames that I pulled out. And this one looks like this. If I can get it to focus again. This one's on this side. I've got some worker bees who are still not sure what's going on, what I did to them. This is it on this side. And that's nice, because that's a lot of worker frames. I'm hoping they'll rob some of the syrup out. They looked to me like they didn't have a lot of syrup left. And that was kind of weird. And this one wants to run on me. Come on, baby. You can't have me. Oh, come on. We'll put you back over where you can do some good. Oops. So she's still riding on me. And this is the second frame. I don't know if I can grab this one. Oh, there's a drone emerging. Come here, guys. Lots of drones on this one. And I guess getting it out in the sun got him busy. There we go. Oh, it's probably about to cloud over here. They are very upset with me standing in front of the hive, stepping on bees. It's just terrible. Having a terrible, terrible day. And then there's one on my screen now. So you can see this one has a lot more drone pattern in it, and it's a mess. And now that they know what they're doing, I want them to start over. Let's see if we can get some light on these guys. There we go. There's some drones. So this big patch of drone. Had a half a mind to freeze it earlier. There's some babies down here. Oops. Let's see. So, and then this side is this side. I got more bees on this side because it was next to the hive. So more drone. They kind of drew out the outer center into drone. So a little bit of nectar, but again, not as much nectar as what they really needed. I don't think the other frames have any really nectar in them. So got bees on my legs. So I'm gonna cut it up here. So the last of the drones emerging, coming out. pinched one. Oops. Mm. So, I think I'm sacrificing these frames for other uses. And they have 4 new, freshly wired, like I've been wiring today, freshly wired deeps in the top box now, so let them have at it again. Trying to get them all to come off, and they're just pinging me because I'm standing too close. So we're back over here. And I got fishing wire everywhere, so I'm constantly thinking there's somebody against my legs, so I'm gonna feed them again. I got the top box on to feed them with a jar, and try to cut down on anything that's gonna try and rob them. If it was brood that sucked out all the nectar and honey, that's what happens, or if somebody came in and tried to rob them, I'm not sure anymore. And there's one crawling up my pants. Babies don't know how to fly. Gotta get back into the hive, so it's a little bit of a disruption today, and just felt I got to go back to feeding them because they're only drawn out in the bottom where I flip-flopped them. I flipped them top to bottom, gave them, so now they're empty up here. And all my experts say that the queen goes up, so I was trying to have her to go down, but they just were slow about it. And if we're going to get anywhere, we need them to build and go up. So that's why I'm torn about taking the frames from them, but these are messed up frames, so we might go back to plastic. I don't know. I've got, what have I got? 2 plastic, 1 drone, 1 regular down here, and that did help them out. And then up here I put in 5 cross-wired. At least most of them are cross-wired. And I want them building on that again. So make them build, keep them busy. And then feeder and screen top, queen excluder. Get them used to clean up and make the queen excluder acceptable to them. They want it probably to smell a whole lot better than it does out of my kitchen. So get them used to it. And then upper entrance, glass top, feeder box with a jar and screen top lid. So it's a setup. Not sure what we're going to do. Feel bad about the bees I just sacrificed. But there was a bunch of cat brood down here that was ready to come out 3 days ago. So I'm hoping that's where we're at. And the losses from the deformed wing virus won't be huge. Bigly. It's kind of like my years going. I think I upset everybody by shaking them. They're trying to march in. It's about to start raining. I've got drones that don't know what they're doing. They're totally lost. I've got other bees that have been married to this comb. It's been their job to be on this comb, and now I'm asking them to go far away. And hopefully they can all get in. Let me show you what I shook them all down in front. It's starting to get really cloudy out here. And they're so lame. Drones are so lame. And they're babies. So some are trying to march up the box, some are begging for food. It's not a great day. I got one trying to buzz my arm. What took over my brain to make me do this? I guess you get mistakes along with the stuff I get half right. I gotta go chase some more drones down. This is the weather that is about to descend on me, so bad idea. that's something interesting. Oh. Too bad I can't get closer. You can see a varroa on the edge of that cell up there. Oh, here comes the baby. It's a boy. There you go. Dumb baby boy. And I got one crawling on my neck. Great. Come on, off my neck. Off my neck and not down my shirt. Thank you. Where's he gonna go? And I got one in my hair. This has just been a dumb idea, doing this in the day it's gonna rain 30%. Okay, here's number 2. He's Bubba the big fat drone. Then I got down here, I got a worker. Looks like to me is a worker over there, so you can do it. Made it this far. That's why I feel so bad about those ones with deformed wing. They've made it to 21 days, and their life is going to be cut short before they even know how to do anything else. And I watch other ones crawl towards the north when they get out on the deck and get kicked out, so they know they're pretty much helpless, useless, defective, something, and they just start marching straight north. It's really quite incredible. Bee graveyards are probably all to the north of every hive that we know. I don't know where my other Bubba boy went, but he's around somewhere. Probably looking for somebody to feed him. Which everybody just crawled into the nest, so the hive, into the brood nest, so hopefully they're all doing good in there. But these guys that I've unhomed and left without any assistance are dependent on me to get them back into the box. He's still taking his time. Oh, he's trying. Here comes his brother. Oh, spoke too soon. Back down the other side. Oh. I mean, I love the structure of comb. That's just so cool. I think it's starting to rain. How close can I get with this camera? There we go. Yep, the skies let loose. Storm developed directly over us and just kept pounding. And I was out there and I was trying to see if I didn't have the radar up, so I didn't know how long it was going to last. It was right overhead and developing on us, right overhead, so knocked a frame over. There you go. That's developing right overhead. So now that whole thing is gone, so it's over on the other side there. I'm just going to melt it down or something, feed it back to the bees. It's a royal mess out there, so that's why you don't do stuff in the rain. You wire natural foundation just as much as you have wired on the other foundation. So lesson learned there. It just fell off and broke. So very nice, Smart. And it's still out there. It's gonna be a while before this lets up. Left a bunch of baby bees on the table, and I don't think they can come in the front door. I've seen the guard bees haul them off. So if you're going to reintroduce babies, reintroduce them to the frames, because they understand them better, of course. So thanks for watching the rainy day. Feel ever foolish. I mentioned just in the clip earlier that I would try introducing the bees back to their hive by dropping them in on the frames, and experiments have failed. They know if something has entered the hive inappropriately, and it makes perfect sense now why they say, oh yeah, you transfer the whole frame of brood into a hive and let the new bees accept them, because they got to be emerging into that scent to be scented and accepted. And that's now what I know for sure. I think drones maybe have a little leeway. I don't think the guard bees look at drones quite as much, but I never kept track of the drone I dropped there. But every little worker bee that was a day too young was kicked out, and even the one that was looking like it was what did Jeannie Ellis say? Dr. Ellis called it a eternal bee, something like that. T with the T, and they rest in the cell before they emerge, just firming up and everything. The bees I was showing off were before that stage, so they were 19 days, 20 days, and I was lifting the tops on them, and they aren't really what the bees are looking for. The guard bees were all over them and dragging them out, and it was odd because they did seem similar to the bees that had been dragged out before. So we're back to this whole hygienic behavior that they're kicking bees out for the deformed wing virus, and they're testing them early, so then they have this little turn off with the genetics of the foreign queen, and I'm seeing this whole undocumented syndrome that's happening in my corner of the world and isn't really pictured a whole lot of other places. So we're looking at a bunch of factors, all, and the fact that I was messing with them, all combining to that they don't accept bees that are thrown in the hive. So it was very odd. I learned something, but I feel foolish now for even saying it like I knew what I was saying. So, new Beekeeper, grain of salt, kind of thing, and hopefully this helps somebody that's playing around with a bunch of brood comb and starts pulling bees out. It doesn't work the way you think. So, thanks for watching.